Creator of VPN tier list.
Hey guys, so this is the pricing page and it looks like we have monthly, quarterly, or annual pricing. So $100 a year is actually pretty expensive. I would have liked to see cheaper options here. ExpressVPN is around the same price, but a lot of VPNs you could find for around $60 or so that's a little bit of a bummer. Quarterly is also a little bit pricey at $40, and monthly is $15 a month, which is very expensive, probably the most expensive VPN I've reviewed this year. Now the cool thing about iVPN is it does have a 3-day trial, so that's really nice. Not every VPN has that, so it offsets the cost a little bit, but still a little bit annoying to see it's so very expensive. Trying to get into kind of like the pricing actually checkout page. Here we go. So we do have a couple options here: PayPal, Bitcoin, credit card. Good to see Bitcoin. Doesn't really have too many options for other cryptocurrencies. Some other VPNs support more, going so far as even to support gift card checkout and stuff like that. So I would like to see a little bit more options here, but I am satisfied to see Bitcoin, so that's very good to see. Alright guys, so this is what iVPN's application looks like. It reminds me a little bit of ExpressVPN. It's a pretty nicely designed interface. I do kind of like how there's an animation there showing that you're connected, and it's pretty easy to use, you know, right out of the desktop box. It's not a box per se. We do have some features here like a firewall, which is pretty much ensuring no traffic leaks outside the tunnel. Anti-tracker here, which is probably going to be ad blocker. Yep, right away. So we also have multi-hop, which is going to give you more security than single hop. I'm not sure if that's totally essential. It might also give you slower speeds. We could test that later, perhaps see how it impacts speeds. But we can look at the settings here, which is usually where the meat of the application is. So for iVPN, we have a lot of settings here for general setting configuration. Good to see there. Always like more settings to configure just to customize how the application behaves, like how it connects and how it starts and so forth. Account setting is pretty standard, and connection, we do see a WireGuard implementation, which is very cool. I have not seen this yet so far in a VPN application. This is probably the first implementation of WireGuard in an actual designed VPN application. With most VPNs, what you're going to have to do is download the WireGuard PC app and then connect with some of the configuration files. So I really like that iVPN has this very well job done here. Why do I always say very well job done? Does that even make sense? Anyways guys, we do have network proxy settings, which is cool to add a proxy, so I do like that. And we have obfuscation proxy, which is also very nice in case you're having trouble connecting or you want to hide a little bit more security. A couple other VPNs have a little bit similar features there. Firewall, we do have a firewall. These kind of settings are kind of like the kill switch version of iVPN. I know Windscribe has a similar kind of firewall kind of feature built in, so this is another way to kind of do kill switches, which is a pretty good way to do it. Network configuration, we also have some things here. Maybe this is good for if you have a laptop or if you want to connect to trusted networks, define what is not trusted, what is trusted. So let's say you make your home connection trusted, and if you're in the coffee shop, you make it untrusted. So that's pretty cool to see. OpenVPN configuration perimeters, you can customize it a little bit more here. Anti-tracker, which is cool. This gives you a little bit more customization over, anti-tracking. So a little bit similar to the ad blocking and stuff like that, just a step forward. And of course, we have some DNS options here if you want to use those as well. Overall, I'm actually quite pleased with the settings here. This is a very strong application, among the best in terms of security and features. I really do like the WireGuard implementation. Haven't seen that yet within a VPN application. So guys, here, this is a pretty strong application, at least in terms of security. Let's go ahead and move into other tests like speeds. So in terms of speeds, iVPN performed very well, as you can see it there. Very, very low ping, very, very high download rate, and a very good upload rate as well. These are very impressive speeds for a speed test, so we're going to have to see how it stacks up in an actual real-world torrent test. Let's do that right now. So how does iVPN perform in torrent test? Well, it's a little bit faster than average, I would say. Usually kind of the mediocre VPN is around 2 megabits a second, where we have here going up to 3, not quite reaching 4, but it's 4.3 right there, but staying between kind of the 3 to 4 range is pretty good. A little bit faster than average, but definitely not the fastest VPN for torrenting, at least in my tests. Alright guys, so as you can see here, iVPN, when you use multi-hop, kind of bouncing around the VPN back and forth like this. Bounce, 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 bounce. So basically, it is going to give you a little bit more anonymity and security, but it's definitely going to impact speeds. So as you can see here, the ping is very high and the ping was very low before. So as you can see, this is not the best kind of setup for, you know, speeds. So there is a bit of trade-off here, maybe more anonymity, but lower speeds. Now I think the single hop is probably good enough, and I honestly think multi-hop, a little bit of a marketing kind of gimmick. Too much security, maybe not necessarily that useful. I mean, after all, we all want fast speeds when using a VPN, so just keep that in mind. So with iVPN, talking to customer support, they said that they do not support streaming really, which is a little bit of a letdown. Some even go so far as to add servers specifically for streaming. We've seen this with Viper VPN, Private VPN, some other VPNs out there. Windscribe has WinFlex. So let's go just ahead and test, you know, the fastest server. Who knows, maybe it will work. Some VPNs like Private Internet Access don't explicitly say it works, but it does. AirVPN doesn't explicitly say it works, but it does. So a lot of times it just kind of comes down to tests, and even if it does work, sometimes it can be intermittent. Sort of like I expected, iVPN does not work with Netflix, which does not bode well for other services. Let's go ahead and test those out just to see. Unfortunately, iVPN does not work with Prime Video either. Dang it. So iVPN has a very good privacy policy. They don't collect any logs that you might see in other use cases. A lot of VPNs claim it's, you know, it's mandatory collects user bandwidth logs or connection logs, but we don't see that with iVPN. We don't see traffic logs, DNS, no connection or timestamp, no logging of user bandwidth, no IP address logging, no logging of any account activity except total simultaneous connections. So they do seem to log total simultaneous connections, but it's not a big deal. So it is a very good no logging policy VPN. Up there with the best maybe. So starting up iVPN, just kind of test it out with this live chat. It proved to be a little bit difficult. I had to actually close down my browser and reopen ivpn.net in order to get the live chat working. So if you can't get live chat working, maybe it's not loading or it's not letting you connect to it, try restarting your browser and reconnecting to the page if you are connected to a VPN. But here we are connected to live chat. Let's give it a little run for its money. So we're going to ask them a little bit about their parent company, see who owns iVPN, see how much these customer service representatives really know. Okay, so it seems like he's saying it doesn't work with streaming services. Alright guys, so what is iVPN's final review rating? Well, let's find out right now. So pricing, it's just too expensive. I couldn't really give them any points here. $15 a month is way too expensive. Now I understand the product is good, however, it's just too expensive. Now, compared to something like ExpressVPN, I actually think iVPN is a better deal because you are paying that premium price. You are getting a more premium product maybe. So in that sense, it makes sense. But compared to some other VPN providers, which mostly have similar feature sets and better streaming compatibility, I think iVPN is majorly overpriced. Next up is the application. iVPN gets the perfect 5 out of 5. The application here is very solid. It's the first VPN to get a perfect 5 out of 5. It's easy to use. It's packed full with features, having WireGuard implementation, which is very cool. First VPN to do that in my testing, so I really like the application. Speeds are quite good in the speed test, very strong. However, torrenting not quite as impressive, so lost kind of a point there. Reputation is pretty good. Can't really find anything too sketchy about them. iVPN did kind of can their affiliate program, which is kind of stupid in my opinion, because you can have good affiliates and you can have bad affiliates. Just wiping out the program altogether just means that the people who review honestly are going to have less monetary kind of ways to make money. So from this video, I'm not going to make any money from recommending this product. I'm just going to make money from YouTube ads, which, as you know, have been getting worse and worse, which basically means that if this video gets demonetized, I'm going to make $0 from this review, and it makes it a little bit hard to be a VPN reviewer in terms of making a living. But regardless of that, I think it's a strong reputation. There isn't really anything sketchy going on here. They're based in Gibraltar, if that's important to you. In terms of customer support, it's very solid. Live chat is available. And streaming compatibility, unfortunately, it doesn't work with any streaming options. So support kind of gave me a counter response saying, we don't work with it. It's the streaming provider's fault. But in the modern day and age, a VPN should be working with streaming services, and a lot of them certainly do. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this iVPN review, and I'll see you again on the next VPN review.